people are not aware. I was telling the committee this afternoon of the intensity of pain until you lose somebody that you've been with for a long time, and it's intense. And it actually feels like the pain is so bad that you feel you're going to have a heart attack. You do. And so many people, because I felt that after I lost my husband, and I never realized that people felt so bad, and I kept on asking myself, how do people do it without this science? How do they do it without this knowledge? How do they deal with this pain? But it was very interesting because many people after that had lost their spouses, and the first thing they would say to me, my heart's really bad, I think I need to go to a doctor, I think I'm getting a heart attack. And I go, no, you need to go to the doctor. They give you unnecessary medicine that you don't need, you're really just suffering pain. And true enough, it would pass with, that severe pain would pass within 2 or 3 days and then come back again, but then they would understand it was pain. And there's nothing you can do about that, but just wait. And just wait. And it'll pass. Like everything passes, good and bad, both. And this is a great teacher. Pain is a great teacher. And it also brings out a lot of compassion, because anybody else is suffering. When anybody else is suffering, you can help them because you understand. That's if you don't become bitter with it and start blaming everybody else, you know? And this is where the science comes in useful. Because with the science, you take the knowledge that we do all leave this world one day. We just leave this world. And with the science, we also learn that the body dies, we don't die. And that keeps you going, you know, and knowing that your partner is going to be flying and happy is quite a comfort. It is quite a comfort. You just kind of need to feel sorry for yourself a little bit. And that's human nature, and it's okay. It's okay to feel sorry for yourself a little bit. It's good. It's not a bad thing. Okay, so we won't talk about that anymore. I just, we love you, Chandra. We love you very much. So is there anything you would like to tell me before I start talking? Anything you want to share? Anything you want to let me know about? There's Lakshmi waving at me. Mm-hmm. Thank you. She collected something from the post office for me. Thank you very much indeed.
I'd like to say that I'm very excited that Sept has done so much amazing work over the summer. I've been following her on Facebook, and I think it's absolutely amazing. The team she's put together, the hard work, and the results.
This girl's amazing.
Yeah.
We need money for Gambia. They want to build a school there. It's a contact from Barcelona, who we know from the Integral Yoga Center there. And now she's married a man from Gambia who escaped from there to Barcelona. He was nearly dying when I met him in Barcelona, and then he healed, and he promised himself that he would go back to his country to help his people. And while he was in Barcelona, Shakti, or Mini, her Sanskrit name is Shakti, she fell in love with him, and they got married, and now she's helping him with the work. So, and there's a lot to be done there. And I know they're very good people. I've met both of them. They want to build a school, and one of the school hall is going to be called Sachidananda Hall. And Satya called me up, and she goes, I'm going to help you raise money. Great, are you okay with it? So she organized it all, sorted it all out, and we raised £5,000. 5-6. So thank you very much indeed. That was brilliant. And she's planning another fundraiser in December. The school needs over 28,000. We've got all the breakdown of figures and what they needed for, you know, from bottom to build the whole school. So, and it's going to be, they're going to teach yoga there as well, because obviously Shakti, her name, is a yoga teacher also. So she'd love to introduce the morals there of, you know, and see these children grow up healthy. At the moment, all they have is the Quran. And they're a bit concerned that the children may be just brought up with one way, and if we can teach them to understand all ways, it'll help them see a new world and a bigger world. And I think that's really, really admirable that she's actually doing that. So obviously, pray for her there. We're probably going to visit in January. We're thinking of January 10th. And because it's not going to be easy when you change things, and when people's minds expand, they're very fearful of change. So hopefully working with small children, we're going to be able to show them a new way and a bigger way of being where dreams can come true. So thank you very much. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you.
It's been lovely seeing it.
Yeah, it's lovely seeing all the energy she's created. Yeah? Wonderful, wonderful. We're very proud of her. And anything else? Anybody else would like to share anything at all? No, nothing? Is there anything? I know the subject matter today is entrepreneurship and spirituality. It's I talked about it in Sweden as well. And where I gave the talk was in this business place called the Hub. Was it called the Hub? Yeah. It was really, in Sweden they had this office where they rent out, big huge office, where they rent out little desks to people, to entrepreneurs. You know, young people, old people who've decided, because we saw all age groups there, who decide they want to start their own business and they want to try something new and they want to try something different, to be different from the rest. And the government there provides these desks for them free and a lovely place to have coffee and tea, all from the government. I thought it was such a nice thing to do and such a healthy thing for people. Now, how do you mix business with spirit? By understanding that they're not separate. They're not separate. That's the first thing you have to understand. So to make business work, you bring the spirit into it. And how do you bring spirit into your work? What do you think you need? What is the ingredient to bring spirit into your work? Anybody want to make a guess here? There's no wrong answer.
Service.
Brilliant. Service, love. What else?
Honesty.
Honesty. Yeah, you're getting it. What else?
Doing things for the right reasons.
Doing things for the right reasons. Absolutely. What else?
Thinking of others.
Pardon?
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Very important.
Compassion.
Compassion to your work. Yeah, absolutely, to the work team.
Thinking about the client.
Thinking about the client. Service again. And energy. Okay, you need energy. Whenever you want to start something new, you have to put in energy. Without energy, a business does not work. I see many people say, oh, I've tried this, and they'll make 1 or 2 phone calls, then they'll get discouraged, and then they'll lose their energy. Energy creates energy. And how do you build up your energy? In your spirit, to make your spirit alive, is to get up every day and really, the energy building force is what we call rajasic. You know, rajas. We bring work, we bring movement. We bring movement into your life. If you want to be successful in anything, you have to create movement. I remember when I used to work in the shop with my husband, winter days. It used to be very quiet on Main Street, especially in those years when the frontier was closed. And you know, you'd hear a pin drop in the afternoon around 5:36. And so I would go, oh, you know, I can't deal with this quiet. So I would start changing all the windows around. I start moving all the clothes around. And the staff used to go, but Nalanie, you just did that yesterday. And I said, I'm doing it again. So I'd walk around the shop, just moving everything. Guess what? Within 10 minutes, the shop used to fill up with people. From where? I don't know. Don't ask me how it works. It works. Energy works. And each time, you know, I taught my staff that, and then they learned to do that too. So energy creates movement, and spiritual energy creates more movement. Spiritual energy creates a magnetism. And what is the spiritual energy? You all said it very, very clearly. Love. You got to love what you do. If you don't love what you are doing, you do what my master taught me. You start to love what you're doing. Because when you change the chip in your brain, sometimes you can't do what you love to do. Maybe because you have to feed a family. Maybe you have to look after a home. Maybe it just, the job that you want or the work that you want just isn't there. It just isn't there, even though you want to do it. So what do? Instead of complaining about where you are, begrudging where you are, you start to apply, okay, this is what I've got. Acceptance. As Master Shivananda used to say, accept, adjust, accommodate, right? So you use that. This is what I have now. I get up every morning, I'm enthusiastic to go to work. I get up every morning with this, what can I do to make myself like my business more? What can I do? Because I need to bring spirit into it. If there's no spirit in it, I'm going to be happy going. So then you go to work. And the first thing you watch, if you've got working with people, you watch your relationship with people, because it has a lot to do with why you don't like where you are. What is your relationship with your colleagues? What is your relationship with people? Do you think that you're better than them? Are you always expecting them to ask you how you are? Do you walk into the office and change things by coming in with a bright smile and say, good morning everybody, we're going to have a great day. Let's work as a team. What can we do to improve our business? Are you a team player? Or are you the kind of person that will walk into the place and just sit, do your own job and expect everybody to give you stimulus? Because if you're that kind of person, there's no spirit in your work. And you know, I see many people like that, and they tell me, oh Nalanie, my business isn't working, this isn't working. And I ask them, are you a team player? No, but this person doesn't say hello, and that person doesn't talk to me. I go, does it really matter? Is it the business you're interested in, or are you interested in your ego? Because that's all ego. Do you see how ego keeps trapping us all the time in everything we do? And this expectation that people should be feeding us all the time. Even very, very deeply spiritual people still don't seem to learn this lesson. It's still they're thinking, me, me, me. Oh, I don't want to mix because other people disturb me. And there's this kind of superior attitude. You know, I know much more than them, I'm more spiritual, and you know, they all talk nonsense, so I don't want to mix with them. And when you take away the spirit, you see there's already division. There's division. People do this not only in business, they do that with their families. They think they're superior. And this superior attitude takes away the spirit. What is spirit? What is spirit? What is spirit? Again and again and again, we're all one. And through our work, through our life, is the only way and place with this body is the only place we can express spirit. And if we can't express love and service, I think somebody said service, and compassion to the people around us, then we're not living in spirit. We're not doing our best. And somebody goes, I work so hard, I do my best, but you haven't got the point. You haven't included others. You know, how many people just, you know, do a job and everything that it's just about the money, get the pay, and go home. How can you love life like that? You spend most of your day at work. 8 hours of your day, or whatever it is. How many hours do people work these days? I don't have a clue, because my hours are random. I choose my own. Isn't it brilliant? And you see, that's what happened. When I met Gurudev, and I told him, you know, I couldn't carry on running a business the way I was doing it after seeing him for 1 week. I think I told this story yesterday, you know, and I said, how do I change my life? What do I do? And his words, I know I keep saying it, but it changed my entire life. He said, love where you are, meditate, purify your mind. When you are ready, God will use you. And for those who don't understand the word God, life will use you. Because when you're ready for a job, it's the same saying as when the student is ready, the master appears. When you are ready, life gives you the situation. So the secret I learned for me was stay still. Stay still. Learn myself. Purify my own mind. Purify my own mind. Stop complaining, big one. I don't like my work. I don't like my work. Because as you think,
So you can
what are you encouraging yourself to do? Not like your work. Aren't you reminding yourself all the time, I don't like my work, I don't like my work, I don't like... So the more you say you don't like, the more you're bringing it to you, right? Because it's in your mind, that thought. It attracts that thought. And the less likely you are to like it. So the first thing was, I'm now going to be so focused on making myself better, and if I make myself better, I'm not going to complain. So I'm going to walk down Main Street. And this was my first practice, blessing everybody. And stop looking for the negative. Just go down Main Street, bless everyone, and love the day. Just love every second of every day. And this was a practice. I mean, it really was a practice. It didn't happen like this, I remember there were days you couldn't do it because there's some people who just are a pain. And you really, they complain about everything. And you're kind of thinking, okay, you just got to bless them. In your mind, you got to bless them. And then when you go to work, because you see, you can't just go to work and think you're going to love it suddenly. It's not going to happen like that. It actually takes time. It's retraining the mind, retraining your thinking process. It doesn't happen overnight. So it has to really, you have to take up the practice. And in order to take up the practice, you have to know how much you want to love your life and live your life. And that's what you have to ask yourself. How much do you want to live in your life? How much do you want your life to be as joyful as possible? And that's the question you have to keep asking yourself. Don't you want every day to be as joyful as possible? Because pain is going to come anyway. So when it's not coming, when it's not really there, why complain? Because most of us, as I realize in myself, complain about things that are really just nonsense. Total nonsense. We don't even understand the meaning of suffering. And we take this little problem and we make it into a big thing until we see real illness, real pain, real suffering. This is why I tell you all, please, please, please go travel to these poor countries. See people who really suffer. See people who've really gone through pain. When you see it, you'll never come home and complain again. Never. You'd be insulting your intelligence if you complain. Because once you see this, you realize how rich you are, how happy you are. And now, because we have everything, we find fault with every little thing. We look for the little faults in people. Because life is comfortable. This is Arjuna's, this is the Bhagavad Gita. It says you got like 5 good thoughts and 100 negative thoughts attacking you every day of your life. Every day of your life. And they keep attacking you. And you have to be on guard. You have to be on guard constantly. And this is why I say yogis have to be aware. We need to wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up. One of the practices to do is actually to walk into a room. This is really good for business people as well. It brings up this awareness. And I learned this from my master, my beloved master, Sri Swami Satchidananda. I used to watch him. The little time I spent with him when I took him on as my guru, I watched him a lot. And he'd walk into a room and he would look very quickly around, notice everything, notice everybody, notice things behind him as he walked in. And even when we took him in the car and we were driving, and this is when he taught me that. We were going through the street and there were some signs and I was just busy talking to him, Gurudev, Did you see that? No, what did I see? He said, that sign there that said something. I don't remember what it said. No, Gurudev, I didn't notice it. A few seconds later. Nalanie, did you notice that? Did you know that was there? Another sign on the road. You know? No. I didn't notice that. And then a few seconds later, did you see that animal running around? No. By the third time, I realized he was giving me a lesson on awareness. On awareness. Of course, and another lesson he gave me on awareness, which was dramatic. And you see, you have to catch the lessons. If you don't catch the lessons, life doesn't work, business doesn't work. You know, when you're full of love, energy, things work, they work. It's the law of life, you know, like attracts like. When you're full of joy, you attract joy in your life. So anyway, this was a big lesson. My husband was in the car with me, I remember so clearly. And there was Gurudev in the front with him, and I was sitting in the back. And I was talking about, we were looking for property, and Gurudev was, you know, because my father had called me up, Nalanie, I want to buy you a property. And please choose something. I'm getting old, I want you to choose something. I had seen a really, really nice house, actually. It's sort of lovely at that time. You know, look at life, and now I'm living there so many years later. When I said I'm never going to live there, I'm living there. When I wanted to live there, I couldn't live there. So anyway, there was this house that was on sale really, really cheap at that time. And I found out through one of my students here, I don't think we had the yoga center then, from the temple. So I go in this beautiful house and I go, it's gorgeous, and Gurudev, don't you like it? Very nice. He looks at the boiler. Good boiler. It's a good boiler. He starts touching, you know, because he was a mechanic, so he starts a good property, well built, and we said it was English built, right? So I said, I got it for a really good price. And then when I get in the car with my husband, and he goes, no, I don't think we can live here, the queues, and it's going to be too much. I said, but it's such a good deal, darling. If we lose it, you know, it's not going to come back. No, at that time, again, about 15, 20 years ago, before the market came up, it was down. And I go, he said, the market's down, you're not going to, you know, it'll be there for a long time. I said, no, but it's a bargain. And then I told him in front of Gurudev, you know, you are so negative. I don't know why you were so negative. And all of a sudden, my master looked at me from the front of the car and gave me the most horrible look. But I thought, what did I do wrong? Anyway, he ignored me, didn't talk to me. And he goes to me, so Shanky, why do you think that house is like? Why don't you think, oh, you know, when he answers Gurudev, because, you know, in winter, the commuting, I have to go to work every day. Summer will be easy, but winter, I don't know if I want to go there in the winter. I'm not sure if that's easy for me, you know. And then I interrupted. And I go, no, but you know, we can overcome everything, you know. So he goes to queues, and Gurudev ignores me again. Anyway, we go home. And I said to him, Gurudev, why are you angry with me? And he laughs. He says, I'm not angry with you, but you're very aware. And I go, yeah, what did I do wrong? My husband was very negative. I was very positive. And then he goes, you are very negative. You're very negative. Did you get the lesson? I got the lesson. The lesson. Yes, my husband might have been saying what he thought. I took it as negative. He was just telling me what he was thinking. Did you see that? But because I thought I was positive, I took him as negative. So now that I put this negative into his head, what's going to happen? Rebellion. So, by the time he said, okay, it took me a whole week to keep quiet and not open that mouth and say, come on, why are you so negative? It really was hard work. When we decided, it was too late. It was sold immediately. I was right. It was a bargain. But it didn't matter. I wasn't meant to live there. So it was interesting. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this story is sometimes, even at work, mostly at work, we think we are positive. We think that, we're doing our best. We think, I really believe this is going to work. And because we think it so powerfully, we are not willing to listen, not even hear what somebody else is saying without interpreting our thoughts on their words. Are you understanding what I'm saying? They're saying something, and maybe for them that is just a fact. So when we inject our negativity into somebody else, they keep it. We actually take that negativity to somebody else by suggesting they are negative. If my approach might have been different, oh really? Do you really think it'll be a problem? How do you think we could work around that problem? Interesting, you're right, in winter it's going to be hard. Maybe darling, we could work around that. Let's find a solution. Should we get a bike? Should we do... I didn't do any of that. Do you see? Because I immediately saw that what he was saying is my interpretation of somebody else's way of expression. Now this is, I've noticed now since then, I've noticed with people who work in businesses, this happens so much. There is so much misinterpretation, misunderstanding. So if you really, really want to bring spirituality in your work, may I really advise you, learn to listen. Learn to listen. And if you hear yourself already judging somebody else, thinking they're negative or thinking they're not understanding, step back. Step back. Don't comment until you have something clever and wise to say, something with wisdom. Wait, all right? Because you could be putting yourself in a hole.
Wisdom is different than clever and wise. We think we're clever and wise many times.
And we're not.